Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an interview with Mrs. Jean Willett for the Griffith University Jubilee History, taped at Upper Mount Gravatt on Thursday, 1st February 1996 with Dr. Knockwork. On, and I'll just leave it there with you. That's okay?
Yes.
So you said you needed to start with the Cambridge stage.
Yes.
I'll take a few notes while I'm going.
Why I have to go back so far is he started the first business school in Britain at Cambridge University, and this was a real innovation, and he had to get the approval of the whole university before he was permitted to set up this school. And he was given 6 months to do this. And so when he came to Melbourne, he was asked to come to Australia from Cambridge to start the business school, and the first one in Australia.
Wow.
So it has been a learning curve from Cambridge through Melbourne, with these MBA students in both cases, into Griffith University for the whole university.
Right.
So he was a man who believed in breadth in education. It wasn't just one single straight tram line. It was had to be comprehensive. And this is why the first year everybody read the same thing. But also the school system he introduced into the education ideas.
How did he have to help? Did he contribute towards before the university actually started up? Did he have a lot of contribution, which I understand he did, to setting up the courses and the philosophy? And was there much discussion about that, and with who?
Well, the people at the university will tell you that about them, because of course they had meetings all the time.
Yes.
And they worked as a team.
Yes.
And it was the same with the buildings and the ground staff, everybody. We were all in it together, and the wives and the children as well.
Right. Yes, I heard that.
Yes. So it really was not one man, it was everybody.
And everybody says that too. Yes.
We were a team, really. We were a family.
Yes. And did that continue right into the early teaching, or?
Oh yes, it continued right through, as long as we were there.
Tell me, what are the things about the early teaching years that you would most like to recall or remember or tell me about?
I wasn't involved with the teaching in any way.
No, I don't mean the teaching, but just about the early years.
It was the teamwork that really, the council, everybody were involved, and we had dinners, and the council came to our house, and our family were there for this when we were selecting people to be the first foundation chairman of the school, each school. They came to our place for dinner, and we had these dinner parties night after night, week after week, and sometimes my children were there at home, and so they had dinner with them, and it was quite interesting to hear their point of view as well as the staff point of view. And my job at these dinners, other than cooking them, was after the dinner, coffee time, I spoke to the candidates and answered questions that their wives had asked.
Right. Yeah.
So that we knew about the people who were coming. And we knew, I was given a secretary myself for sending information overseas before they came in. And I asked them what they wanted for putting in their houses, which I got and rented them for them till they got here, because all of them were coming, except the Calvin Roses. They came up from Camden.
Yes.
The others all came from overseas. So they needed help there, and I enjoyed doing that very much. And so we had this sort of breakfast, asked them what they needed for breakfast and for dinner, and Jane Topley made casseroles, and we all made things that put in the house. It was great fun.
It must have been a very exciting time.
Oh, it was such fun the whole time. We're all so exhausted. We just paddled along, cheering each other on.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great time. And you must talk to Robin Gibson.
Right.
He built the first building. He was the architect.
What about the site? How did you all feel about Nathan?
Well, the ring road was a bit of a headache because everybody agreed, but still, Johnson.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he's dead. Yeah. Roger, he had this vision, just fabulous working with them. And his wife, of course, was there. She was mucking in with the rest of us. Robin Gibson's wife was, just grateful.
And it all sort of came together fairly well.
Oh, yes.
Was your husband, was Professor Willett happy with it? Or was there any areas that he was uncomfortable with, that he wanted to change?
Well, I think on the whole, it really came together very well over the 3 years we were given to do this. And of course there were hiccups on the way. But, it was an enormous project.
And to do it at such time.
Exactly.
And of course, even Ted Bray and the foundation, they had a little bit longer. But tell me about how he got on. I understand that the relationship with Ted Bray is a unique Chancellor, because he had a hands-on involvement, not like a normal Chancellor.
No.
So how did I believe they had their ups and downs.
Of course they did. Goodness me, they're so different.
Absolutely, yeah. And
so, of course they had their ups and downs and arguments and all the rest of it. But, we got that was just, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
There was bound to be bad times when you didn't agree.
But it wouldn't matter in a circumstance like that. Who is involved? There's sure to be those issues.
Of course it does. They're definitely human, every one of us,
Yeah,
Nothing.
exactly. Was Professor Willett completely happy with the aim and the philosophy when he came here, or were there any things that he thought, no, I'm not happy about that, we should be thinking more about this and the other?
Well, I think talking to others, this is only my understanding, that there were times that things he did manipulate to get it to suit him, and neither. He had to go and talk to people and take time with them and resolve the differences rather than created them or kept them.
There seems to have been an enormous sense of purpose that probably doesn't exist in any other university. Somebody said to me, Griffith couldn't have been created at any other period in history.
Right.
It was just, would you think that that's a valid?
That's correct.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because that was the year when, the time when academics were all, the expansion had stopped in Europe, in Britain and in America. And we got these superb people to come in.
Yeah.
And there were 2,500 applied for these 4 jobs.
Right.
And even I was reading. Everybody got dealt out so many. Deciding who.
This was for the 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
I think, mind you must check with somebody else that figure, because I'm hoping the figure.
Yeah,
John always said that.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. John always said I exaggerated it a bit.
That's fair enough. But it does sound as if it was a lot of overseas. That's an interesting perspective, that because of the situation overseas, you did have an enormous pool of talent to draw from.
Tremendous, and you're right about it. I mean, there were so many brilliant people, and young brilliant.
Yeah.
But of course, John was quite adamant about no one. Val Presley was the only one older than John on that campus.
Right. I didn't know that, actually.
And that, I think, is it had to be young people to cope with this new idea.
Yeah, yeah. Over the years, how much of that original philosophy has been lost or dissipated, either for whatever reason, when you come back to the reason?
Well, to my knowledge, it didn't change when we were there.
No.
But I have no knowledge from there on.
Right.
Because we left Australia as soon as we retired.
Did you?
Yes, and we went overseas and we had 6 months with a fellow in college in Cambridge. And a research fellowship.
And that why did he decide to retire?
Well, he always had a principle that one shouldn't stay too long.
Yeah.
And you see, we were there 12 years, 10 years, he was ready to go. But he thought he should go, but still we were there another 2 years. But he always maintained that that was long enough for the institution.
Yeah.
It needed another boiler starting up and taking over.
That's fair enough. I know that you were moved away, but you probably have some knowledge of this at the same time. I gather that they persuaded him to stay on for a year and then another year, which was 2 years altogether. But after he left, things seem to have gone into a state of somewhat sort of, I don't know what the word would be, but sort of unstable for a while. Is that the word? It seems to be that. Also, I mean, I'm quite happy if you want not to sort of be quoted on this, I can turn off the...
Yeah, I do, because I don't.
I
don't really know much about it. But
no, this is one of the things that appears to come right through about Professor Willett, that he's been an innovator and a builder all along. And he enjoyed that. Was that something that he deliberately wanted to do and enjoyed doing?
Oh, yes, that was him.
Yes. He doesn't seem to have been at all bureaucratic.
No.
It was get out and meet everybody.
Yes. Well, one, C.P. Snow, the author, came to give a lecture, and
Griffith.
And he was staying with us. And he came back from lunch, from his giving his paper, and after we'd had lunch there, and he said, you know, the Vice-Chancellor came and sat on the stairs at the lecture. And I thought, well, there couldn't have been a seat, I would have used it. He said, yes, he could have moved someone. And I thought, oh, no, he couldn't.
Yeah. That leads me into another question. The attitude he had to how the students and staff and administrators altogether should relate in the university.
Yeah, I should relate. Everybody had a say.
Everybody was part of it, yeah.
It's difficult for anyone to imagine just how close we were, all of us, and how we all cared about each other and wanted things to go well. And seeing the children going to school, into the right schools,
That's a thing, of course, that's marvellous about the early days, is that very word you use, caring. You lose that as soon as you get bigger, don't you?
Yes. I think, I think of us never caring at all. Because we always cared about the
Yes, that's what I think you did, but yes, I wasn't meaning to imply that you didn't at any time, but as the university
too big.
grew bigger later,
Yes.
I mean, I think your husband had a view that there should have been a limit on size, and it's gone way past that. Do you remember what he thought was a reasonable size? Was it 6,000 or 8,000?
I think it was only 6,000 he thought.
Yeah.
Of course, it's impossible in today's climate. It's an entirely different world.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's another question. Do you think, or are you saying here, that it would be nearly impossible to do the same thing today?
Well, I don't know. You see, after all, he did Griffith, and then he went and did Bangkok.
Yeah. I don't know, but there again, you have different environments in which you're doing it.
Oh, I think today's academic world must be a fabulous place to be.
I think you're probably right. I certainly wouldn't want to be right in the middle of it. I'd prefer to stay on the outside. But was there, or do you know, was there much problem with funding? I mean, was there much? How did the funding arrangements go? Did you feel as if there was any sanctions on what you did due to the funding?
Well, I really don't know. That wasn't my world at all. Shakespeare will tell you about that.
Yes, I'll speak to him on Tuesday, I think it is.
I'll get in for a treat.
Is that right?
He's fabulous.
He mentioned another person to me that you would know well, Molly Fulton.
Yes.
And I've taken her number. I haven't phoned her yet, but I'll be in touch.
Patience Tom used to get.
I'm seeing her Thursday, next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
She interviewed most of the early founding people, and I've read the transcript of her interview.
Oh, yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yes.
And I
And to have her, of course, as a student, and then to have her on Chancellor, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so thrilled about that one.
Yeah. That's not only because she's as a courtesy, because I've read the transcript of all she did, but because of that very reason, I'll get a student perspective and an outside perspective of the person coming in, and then as the council.
Wonderful. You have a good time with her.
Is that right?
She's so nice.
She sounded delightful all the time, all right?
Lovely sense of humour, too.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good perspective. Is there anything else that comes to mind that you remember as being particularly special about those views?
We're just one big family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about, there was another aspect that appears to have been very significant, but certainly doesn't exist now, and maybe it can, I don't know. But there was very little hierarchy.
Oh, yes. No.
Very sort of a democratic structure.
Well, you see, to start with, Griffith Women, it was the women's group, and I insisted on being called Griffith Women because it was from the tea lady to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And the wives and families and everybody. And John was exactly the same. I mean, I got all my ideas from him anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why, that is how we both felt about it. And his students could go in any time and talk to them. And staff could go in any time. And Val would, make sure the kids, they all got their say. And he would stop what he was doing and listen to kids and the staff as they came in. He was always open to sort of interview or advice.
Yeah. Did he have to be very strong to implement all the things, the philosophy and the...
Dedicated to word, I think.
Right, yeah.
Dedicated to the idea of the broad spectrum.
Do you think that dedication to that idea was, the original idea, was as strong when he left in the university generally? I assume from what you say that it was just as strong with him.
Yes.
But was it as widespread throughout the university?
Oh yes. Well, the farewell function, I mean, it is not everybody doing it, it's incredible.
Lovely.
And you will talk to Sam Ragusa, I presume, and Scott Cullen Phillips, the guard.
Yes, I have already made an appointment with Sam, and I haven't yet made an appointment with Chancellor, but I will do it.
Because we used to go to Cullen. He was the only one who had a house on campus.
Yeah.
And we used to go down and bottle wine in his garage. And we had Kelvin Crump, he was the charge of the dog. Oh, yeah. The kids came as well, and we had barbecues. Also the Griffith Chateau. No, it was Chateau Griffith, yeah. Oh, that's funny. And John, of course, took down the Vice Chancellor's cellar. So it was very nice, so I waited to farewell to Roger Holmes. Did you get Roger Holmes?
I have his name, but I haven't spoken to him. Yeah, I've had so little time. I've had to read a lot of files.
I'm sure you have.
So that I have at least some idea of what I'm talking about. I've a lot of appointments made now. Yeah. So I'll have to keep in mind Chateau Griffith, made in Colin Phillips' garage.
Yes.
That's delightful. And Calvin Crump was in charge of
he ordered the barrel beans.
He was
the cellarman.
Master of the wine. Yes, there was a bit of, I think it must have been John Coffey who mentioned this, but apparently Ted Bray was very opposed when he talked about Collins being the owner of the house on campus, or the Vice Chancellor having a house on campus because of some scandal involved with U2 or something.
Yes.
But it's a pity because I don't think, I would have thought personally, I was quite surprised to hear that. And I'll mention it to Ted why whatever happens with U2 would have such an impact here. I would have thought it essential that the very close to it, not on the spot, but you were at over 10 more weeks.
If that was it. And mind you that this was at the house for the time because all the dinner parties were in my house.
Yes, so I understand.
And we needed it. And it was a great house for it. We had all the councilmen away for dinner one night, and I taught them Scottish country dancing, dancing through the house. What? But we did that with AMD students at Melbourne. And they had the 25th anniversary of AMD in Melbourne. And I went down back to Melbourne. It was lovely seeing you again. And I missed John. So sad.
If you were writing this history, before I say that, what do you think was the thing he that is most satisfied with were you to look back on it? Or as he did look back on
it? I think that the influence we had on education as a whole, really, of the approach to education, look at that. University. But you see, he was very keen on the mature students.
Yes. Of course, taste and songs was
part of that. Yes. So you get that from her.
Why, from your point of view, what was his view on why was he so keen on mature age students?
He thought they were so young, as well as he felt that the education system hadn't really been in people's favour, especially here in Australia, from the Depression, the attitude. And he very much wanted to change that. And through education, by educating the mature age people, changing their attitude.
Was the depression period in England something that affected him particularly?
No.
But he was conscious of it. It was something that...
When we came to Australia, we were conscious of the depression.
Right.
So I don't think it didn't affect me either.
No.
And in Cambridge, really, Cambridge is so different. The right of this world, you don't live in the real world. It's either you live in Cambridge or you might as well be dead. And that affected me, of course. I never had any other. We have friends of university, so we came to Australia.
I must admit, I spent a bit of time at Cambridge. A colleague of mine was finishing off his MPhil there. And I must confess, this was only a couple of years ago.
No.
It still seems to be a little bit that way.
Well, certainly we've been back. And they're all saying, oh, you're so lucky you've been here then. And that's why you get off your behind and go
Look at the rest of the world.
Go and visit out. You don't need to stay in Cambridge. Oh, horror. It's funny.
But of course, that's so dreadfully elitist in the worst possible way.
Yes.
And yet, Griffith was such a contrast to that.
Yes, that is one reason I think why we're on this language.
Yes.
Really wasn't our cup of tea. Oh, it was a big decision to come to Australia, my father said, yes, go on, don't do anybody hold you back. You go and do what you want to do.
And you enjoyed Melbourne?
Oh, I loved it. And once again, the students used to come to our house for dinner, and I made them do the students themselves had to do washing up after the dinner.
Yes.
And what we did was John took the spouses into a drawing room for coffee. And I took the students into my kitchen. And I said, now this, you're getting this learning management. Okay. Now here's my kitchen, you've never seen it before. Wash up, get organized. And I'd stand back and watch who did nothing except organize, who did the washing up. And John's job was far harder than mine, keeping these women and men sitting, because they felt they should be helping, and they were missing out on some few sort of words that never mind.
Reversing role models.
You see how mad he was? Very different views.
It's amazing at that time, because I've written the history of John Paul College, when they started up on their own, they started from scratch.
And done wonderfully there.
Indeed. And listen to you, there's so much of the same sort of camaraderie, innovation, spirit, and the damned with the rest of them to a degree. That was, quite interesting.
Yes. That's why I never think of it. But interesting that it could be two people that really initiated.
Yes.
Up in this part of the country.
Yeah, it is quite staggering, really.
Mm-hmm.
As a purely personal view from your point of view, and you look, you're not far from the university, it must be a very unusual sensation to think, look, that's part of my creation.
I don't think of it as my creation at all.
He does.
No, it's John.
Well, even as a sense of his,
yes.
It must be unusual in that way.
Oh no, I think it was just something that just happened and it was meant to happen and it happened.
Yeah. If I said, and this is what I'm going to try and find out in this project, because if I said to you, it was quite different now from the vision that the founders had, including your husband, would you feel very disappointed, or would you say, that's the way things go, life goes on?
I think that they evolved. Yeah.
They did, don't they?
Yeah.
And
but I still think the emphasis is very much different.
Yeah. I think that's true. I'm trying to get a handle on that. And talking to the Vice Chancellor yesterday, he was at pain.
Is that the first thing you've met him?
No, it's the second, third time I've met him. And I met him a couple of times socially, but only in a group. He wouldn't know me from Adam. I had a fairly comprehensive discussion with him when he wanted these things done, and they decided he wanted me to do it. Mm-hmm. But yesterday, I went to him like I'm coming to you now to talk about the university and the history on a professional sort of basis, interviewing him like that. And he went to great pains to point to the continuum of Jean Willett's vision in some ways that had to expand and change and evolve.
Yes.
But, and that's inevitable, whether it's him or anybody else. It's going to evolve just because times change. But he pointed out to me a number of different things that might have changed somewhat in the structure of the operation, but that fundamentally were continuing that change. And I think that's true.
That's true.
It is an alternative. It's not the traditional. They have faculties now instead of schools, but at the same time, they don't have departments with power vested in the head of a department.
No. And I agree with that.
And this is part. You think that is a content, that is part of it.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. Because that's one of the things I think I've got to get a handle on for what's happened in the 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you've got to write a bit about when you after you left for the 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's
quite a bit.
And really, I don't envy them their job nowadays. Yeah. Because it's so big. Yeah. And all these cancers and everything. And the whole emphasis now is hands-on, and there's no way drawing paper can do it. It's possible.
You've got to delegate so much.
Yes, and miss out on this sort of warm feeling that we have.
Well, that's very true. It's a point that one doesn't think about, yes, but...
and I knew all the children's names.
Yeah. Yes, it is impossible. And of course, a lot of the amalgamation and expansion was necessary because of Dawkins and all of these pressures that came in from funding. The whole environment changed.
And all universities.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Look at the University of Queensland, when they started their business school in the university, that group of people making money.
Yes.
That's all they were given a job to do. I mean, the horror we all felt. That was awful.
Exactly.
What is this learning about?
Yeah. Yeah. No, was there in the community, whether it be the local community, in the academic community, in the political community, was there much opposition? Were you conscious, or were your husband, conscious of opposition? People who didn't want it to succeed, or who had concerns about Alex?
The thing is, no, there was nothing like that at all. John is a very good PR man. And for instance, he was made an honorary lion for the Lions Club. We went for functions and things. We had the local MPs and then their wives that's another one that can talk to Liam Hilshire.
Oh, yeah. He's on the council now.
Yes.
And I'll talk to him anyway. Yeah.
Sorry, who was it?
Yeah, about the PR, and I was asking about if you felt that there was opposition from any section of the community.
No, because we made sure the community were welcome, and they were allowed to belong to the library. The library tickets and everything. And as well as the open days, they come anytime. And I think opening the library to the general public was a great thing, as well as the mature age students we brought in for community.
There was quite considerable discussion about what sort of prerequisites would be needed for the courses for the ordinary students, and of course the mature age students very often wouldn't have qualified, but they had an interview process. Is that how we worked it? I
don't know, but I think that's not my concern, but that's sure.
Yeah, it's mentioned in I discussed this with that person to a degree, although his memory was fading a little bit. Yeah. His type was very bad.
Yes.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. I don't think there's an awful lot really in the way of questions that I need to ask for this process at the moment. But perhaps I could ask you, is there anything else you'd want to ask? If you were writing the history yourself, what issue would you pick out? I think for what you said it's very clear, but what issue would you pick out that must be emphasized as being or issues or persons or themes, if you wish, that you feel you must put this in the history? This is absolutely essential if you're going to capture the essence of Griffith in that period.
I don't think there's much more to say. It just happened.
It seems to me that I would need to emphasize this sense of family and commitment,
Well, the thing is, the students are terribly important to us. And when we had a dinner party, the head of the students' union and her boyfriend at the time, who would be students too, I got them to come and do the washing up afterwards. And the boy would pour the wine for the dinner and the girls would help me serve up and things. And then afterwards, John would bring them in and introduce them to guests. And of course the kids loved it.
Yeah.
And he was always open to the student union people that could go and whoever was present.
Do you remember her name at all?
Yes, she is.
Chancellor. Yeah, I'm talking to her then.
Oh, well, you hear about dinner parties. It was great fun.
Yeah, by sheer chance, there's a friend of mine who's in the department that you do, and she's a friend of a friend of Shan. She knows Shan very casually, and she suggested I might like to talk to her, so I rang her, and we're ending up having dinner at Rebecca's house. It was not far from here, in Rebecca. Oh, I suppose. I'll get that perspective.
Oh, you'll get that one, yes. She's a great girl. Give them all up.
I will say. So, if I were to say that sort of sense of family and commitment and everybody working together does need to be emphasized. There's no other points that are questions that you think when I go and say, why does the name of heaven said that fellow asked me this or asked me that, that you were.
No, I think you've been a very good interviewer.
But
I think you've been a very good interviewer. I think you've covered things very well.
That's very kind of you. But if there's anything that occurs to you, I'll give you my phone number. Don't hesitate to give me a ring. And if I may, can I give you a ring? Is there something I want to?
Of course, I'm only two minutes now.
That'll be marvelous. I'll give you a card anyway. I've got a card here somewhere. I'll turn that off now.